Hi, welcome to RTO Doctor. This is our 5th podcast in our series, and what is going to be starting a series of interviews that we have lined up. We're starting on a really great note. I am here with Parampreet Singh. He is the owner and CEO of the College of Innovation and Industry Skills, or CIIS, which is an international college based here in WA. He is also the managing director of AVTEG, which is a new company which was started up in 2011 and focuses on providing education on an international platform, primarily in India, with a range of RTOs, colleges and universities from all around Australia. So thank you very much, Parampreet, for coming in and speaking with us.
Thank you, Lauren, for the introduction.
What we're going to be talking about today is we are going to be talking about the lessons learned from running an RTO, and as you all know, Parampreet has been running an RTO now for over 6 years. He's been operating in the VET sector for slightly longer than that. So Parampreet, if you can just get us started by telling us a little bit about your entry and experience with the VET sector.
Well, I entered VET in 2005 as a consultant in mining waves consulting with my partner Hari Sethi. A couple of years we spent in consulting RTOs in Melbourne and South Australia. I then thought, and there was always a burning desire in me to help international students, to support them to find employment in Australia, and I felt that there is actually that gap in Australia where we can support international students, and our RTO is primarily for international students to give them work-ready skills that lead to their full-time employment in Australia, and that's how I actually entered in Australian RTO.
Fantastic, okay. So obviously you've been in the sector for a little while. You have seen a lot of changes come and go since 2006. Talk to me about, if you could provide some advice to people who might be new to the sector. What is the biggest challenges in running an RTO in today's environment?
I think the biggest challenge is definitely the uncertainty. Mainly through our political system. We have seen many changes in the last 6 years as an RTO. We witnessed change after change, which always make it hard for us as an RTO to keep up to date. So the biggest challenge, I think, for anyone who's considering opening an RTO is to really consider why they actually start an RTO. So I think go and deep dive into Vision Quest and what is the purpose of the RTO. Yeah.
So as you've been going through, as you said, you started off as a consultant, you then started out CIIS, and that's been running quite successfully now for several years. When you're going through those kind of growth stages with an RTO, what are some of the most important things to consider going through that growth process?
Well, I love to say that it is our systems that we built over the last 3 years, but that may not be true. It is our people, who really help us grow in this country. We got great, amazing staff. We defined our purpose, why we do what we do, and then we try to focus for growth, what we really want to do. We don't want to do, things for, like trying to sell everything to everyone. So we're very focused RTO. So I think it's our people, and then supported by our systems and technology, the system that we built in-house. So some of these, things have really helped us. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. If you were speaking to someone, let's say someone had come to you and they were looking to have a mentoring kind of relationship about starting up an RTO, what would be the one key piece of advice that you would give to them in regards to considering whether or not they wanted to start an RTO or whether or not they should pursue another option?
I think two things I would say. One is mission, the purpose of an RTO. Don't just jump into an RTO because you have seen someone else successful in this space. Focus on why, and then if you can further deep dive into Vision Quest. What is your vision as an RTO? If you can actually focus on these two, I'm sure you will do very successful RTO.
Obviously, as you said, the regulatory market constantly updates. It can be very difficult, particularly with RTOs who might be managing, growth spurts that they're going through and things like that. And quality control in an organisation, particularly nowadays under the new VET regulators, such as ASPR and things like that, quality control becomes key to an organisation's success and stability. How do you manage that process of quality control within your own organisation? What works and what doesn't?
I think the systems mainly help us to do quality control. So we, as I just said, we built systems for RTO management, and these are in-house systems that actually help as per the processes that we design for our RTO. So, for example, I'll just give you a quick example. Recently, we have updated online job management. So even our jobs now, so job profiles, the job duties, responsibilities within an RTO, and every single person within the RTO, we have made it online. So I don't think there is any chance we can even forget what's due by when, who's they're reporting to. So we continually invested in the RTO and our softwares and technologies and systems. So I think that's very critical for our success and growth for any RTO in Australia.
Okay. There's a lot of difficult aspects to running an RTO, and as you've mentioned, some of the challenges, talking about systems, quality control, people development. What would be the most difficult aspect for you in regards to what do you find the most difficult aspect of running an RTO? And also then, I guess as a follow-up to that is what do you see in general that CEOs, directors, people in similar roles to yourself struggle with?
I think talent is my biggest challenge, and I personally am very entrepreneurial, and this is my third successful business. And each entrepreneurial or people who are leading RTO, CEOs, directors, business people, they're looking for the right talent, and I think it's a rare commodity these days, especially in Western Australia. I really think we have a talent shortage. So that's my biggest challenge so far. Finding the people who can drive the business rather than I drive the business. Yeah.
Definitely. On the positive side of that, what would be the most rewarding thing about running an RTO?
I think the most rewarding in any RTO or education industry is the students. When you see them, grow in their life and their career. So that's most rewarding. I can give you an example. Last year, one of our students from Pakistan, Rabia, she won the AVTEG 2013 Student of the Year award in Australia, and she went along with her husband to Adelaide. AVTEG was kind enough to arrange that. Really, when I went there to support her, she was so excited, and she was one of the 5 sisters who ever traveled in Australia. So you can imagine her expressions, emotions at that time. So it was so rewarding.
Yeah, fantastic. This might be a little bit redundant because I believe that just as of this week, you have been accepted into a program with Stanford for an 8-day entrepreneurship, is that right?
Yes, I'm very excited, looking forward to it. It's a program in social entrepreneurship. So as you know, one of my company, AVTEG, which I run overseas with the help of Australian RTOs, both public, private sector, we are looking at a social impact of 100 million people by 2030. So I believe that Stanford University is going to help me understand how we actually do scale business. So the key importance, I think that we're going to focus in this learning tour is on scale.
Fantastic.
Which is very important.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a brilliant opportunity. So again, I said it's a little bit redundant, but how do you challenge yourself to stay current in industry then?
Well, every day I think I always get up, so excited every morning, and I'm passionate about learning, be it online, look for what other competitors are up to. Every year in the last 5 years I've been still studying, be it Curtin or UWA. I'm looking at doing a program at UW in social impact. So, and I do definitely read a lot and subscribe to most of the national magazines, in VET, RTO space. And that's how I just keep my currency. But I also think I participate in conferences, seminars, meet consultants like yourself, good consultants. I think that really helps me, keep in touch.
Okay, great. So I guess taking into account everything that you've kind of talked to us today, if we could kind of provide 4 or 5 key points for somebody who is maybe new to the industry, or an RTO owner who was perhaps just coming through this massive period of growth and was struggling a little bit in the organization, it would be to really, first of all, make sure that you've defined your purpose and your vision. Set up your systems to make sure that they reflect, who your company is and what they do. Actively develop your talent and people, and find ways to stay current with industry. Is that kind of covering everything?
I think you wrapped very well. Thank you. And I think the most important, I personally, again, passion for what you do, and please define your purpose.
Fantastic. So I guess my last question would be: is what is your biggest concern for industry in 2014, and what do you see as the key issues that you want to address and tackle, and that you want to see the government address and tackle for 2014?
The most important to our company is definitely the extension of post-work rights to VET students. We heavily engaged in Western Australia with organizations like Duxton Hotel, Grand Hyatt, Crown, Burswood, to help our students get a full-time position. But just the restriction that non-international students cannot enter after they study into a work right arrangement, I think the most important for us as an RTO is to see this year in 2014 an extension of work rights to VET students, which I think should be quite fair, given if the higher education students can have the post-work rights. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Okay. All right, well, thank you very much, Parampreet, for coming in today. Best of luck at your studies at Stanford, a fantastic opportunity, and of course, best of luck to CIIS and AVTEG. I'm sure we'll be seeing lots of great things from both the companies, yourself, and the students in times to come.
Thank you very much, Lauren, and thank you, RTO Doctor.
Thank you.
Bye.